Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Friday, the 17th of November 2023, the Islamic date there being the 2nd of Jumadul Ula 1445. Hazrat Wala is speaking about Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, saying that he used to continuously educate us, inform us of the different articles that were mentioned in the Maktubat Ma'sumiyah. Hazrat Wala goes on to speak about that in praise of it, saying that these Maktubat बहुत बड़ा ilmi khazana hai, tasawwuf ka khazana hai. This year is a huge treasure of knowledge. Rather, it is a great treasure of tasawwuf. So Hazrat Shah Wasiullah Sahab sunate the. That's why I also read from here in the ittiba and following my Sheikh. Hazrat Wala is saying. So here in this particular malfuz, in the jawab and answer to one of his murids, Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom now advises. So he says that the life of this dunya is very little and very short, and the matters of the akhirat are absolutely eternal. Therefore, in this short life, the matters of the akhirat are connected to this short life. The matters of the akhirat which are eternal are connected to this short life. Therefore, the fortunate person is that person that in the short while and time he understands it to be opportune, he understands it to be golden, and in all of that he makes tayyari and preparation for the akhirat, and he prepares some type of provision for this long safar to Allah. Hazrat Wala speaks about one Buzrug, and he says that Hazrat Maulana Shah Muhammad Ahmad Sahab used to quote this year abundantly, that he would say to the people, somebody came or this or that, you're saying something, listen, make it snappy, be quick. They were so concerned and they were so worried about their time. Rather, they would also measure and see that if I eat this year, such type of detriment would come to me, that if by eating this, then it will enable me to read 50 more ayat of the Quran Majid. Now, Allah Ta'ala humko apni zindagi ki qadar karne ki tawfiq de. Allah give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of appreciating this life that Allah Ta'ala has given us. Now, Hazrat Mujaddid Al-Fethani ne jo kaam adura छोड़ के गए, हज़रत ख्वाजा मोहम्मद मासूम पूरा करके गए. Whatever type of or things were left incomplete by Hazrat Mujaddid Al-Fethani was brought to perfection and fruition and completion by his illustrious son, Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom. So here, continuing to advise this particular disciple, he goes on to say that Allah Ta'ala has made you the center point or the return point of a great number or a huge group from his makhluk. After saying that, he advises and says, together with showing gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fulfill the rights of people. Rather, become completely prepared and dedicate yourself completely for that. And understand this year that in fulfilling and making the khidmat of the makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this year will earn you great darajat and great stages in this dunya as well as the akhirat. He goes on to say, Nek suluki, good treatment, ihsan, ba khalaiq, doing kindness with the makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, khandarui, always having a smile on your face, husne khulq, beautiful character, और मखलूक के मुआमलात में नरमी और सहूलत को रिजामंदी हक ताला के जरिया, and always to understand that being soft, kind and compassionate and presenting ease to the makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be the means of pleasing Allah Rabbul Izzat, and it will be the means of your salvation. It will be the means of yourself gaining progress. Understand this well. Saying that, Hazrat Wala says that tariqat bajuz khidmat khalq nes, tariqat, this path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is nothing other than service to humanity. Serving the makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, we're speaking about shafqat and rahmat and ra'fat, etc., kindness, compassion, etc. Now, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab was known to be that personality who had a fiery temperament. So, but he said after that maybe initially I just started off, and it is greatly possible that some type of thing which was unbecoming, or I erred or I faulted, etc., I am asking for maafi for that. Now, people understood him to be hard or harsh, whereas this was his rawiya, and this was how it was. Hazrat Haji Imdadullah rahimahullah ta'ala, whoever used to come to him, then he would say to them that you people are better than me. You have come out in the search of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I did not go anywhere. I am just sitting here. Gar na khaste dad na dade khast. If he did not want to give you anything, he would have not given you this thirst, quest, desire and enthusiasm for the search of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the first place. Agar wo dena na chahte, wo talab bhi na dete. If he did not want to give you something, he would have not given you this thirst in the first place. From all of this here, we learn that talab, this thirst and this quest and this desire and this enthusiasm, that is also an atiyah. It is a great gift from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, one step, people come and they come and sit. One step in the search and the quest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is better than this entire world and whatever it contains. Why? Because it is all for the sake and in the name of pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It comes in a hadith that al-khalqu iyalullah, the makhluk are the family of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَأَحَبُّ الْخَلْقِ إِلَى اللَّهِ مَنْ أَحْسَنَ إِلَى عِيَالِهِ. The best from amongst the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who does kindness, goodness towards that family of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning referring to his makhluk. Now we go on to relate some ahadith to you, which are related to fulfilling the needs of fellow people. The virtue of that day, husn khulq, good character, softness, kindness and compassion, exercising patience, the merit of all of this. Now, what we want you to do, Hazrat Haji Muhammad Masoom is saying, un par achhi tarah gaur karna, ponder over these ahadith well, And agar kisi hadith ke mana samajh mein na aaye, and if some hadith, the meaning of does not come into your mind and settle deeply, meaning you do not understand it well, then usko kisi mutadayyan ahle ilm se samajh lena. Then get the answer of that from a person, a righteous, knowledgeable person. Just look at the usage of his words. Kisi mutadayyan ahle ilm se. You should go to a religious, knowledgeable person. On one occasion, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab sent somebody. They said, listen, just go and tell this person this. This person went outside and then he began scolding. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab then said to me, our Hazrat Wala says, that go to him and say that I did not tell you to go there and scold and reprimand him. I said, make him understand. मैं तो डांटने लिए नहीं भेजा, समझाने लिए भेजा. Nevertheless, Hazrat Wala then repeats that same malfuz, or that same statement, which is so full of meaning, which he mentioned earlier, that Hazrat Haji Imdadullah used to say, that all of you are better than me because you have come out in the search of Allah. So talab is something very, very great. Talab peda karo. Inculcate, develop within yourself this type of talab and thirst for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say to me that, listen, look under my pillow. He used to address our Hazrat Wala and say that, look under my pillow, there is some money and some rupees. Take from there, make the khidmat and give tea to the mehman that come here. You know, if you start using your tankhah and your salary, all of it would get exhausted in giving people tea. Then Hazrat Wala says, at that time there was tangi. We were restricted, we only had that amount, etc. But this was Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab's mazaq and his mizaj of making khidmat of the people who came out in the search of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, people understood him to be very hard, whereas he was absolutely an embodiment of softness and kindness. Somebody said so beautifully, one of these great mashayikh in Buzurgan-e-Din, Hum khila pila karke tumko pahunchayenge. We will feed you, we will give you this here to drink, etc. And in all of that, we will make you reach your destination. You know, in Kulista, Hazrat Wala is saying this waqia is written about a certain person who used to feed this whole group of people who were absolutely mentally ill and sick. And somebody even said to him on one occasion or sometime that, how do you even feed these people? They don't even know the kindness you done to them. They don't even have that capacity of mind to understand that somebody is doing kindness to them. So he says, yes, I know that they can't understand that, but their creator can understand that I am feeding his makhluk. Nevertheless, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, whoever used to come, he used to say to me that unki khidmat kiya karo, that listen, serve them and do for them. Usi mein tumko sab kuch mil jayega. In all of that, you will achieve everything. After that, our Hazrat Wala says कि दुआ कीजिए कि मिल जाए. लगे हैं that make dua that I achieve something. I am still on that day trying to see to the needs of the talibin who come. You know, on one occasion in Bombay, was it Bombay or another place? I'm not sure there. Hazrat Shah Wasiullah Sahab asked a certain person that, tell me, at any other sheikh's place, did you get tea to drink? And the person answered that, no, Hazrat, it's only you who give us tea to drink. And our Hazrat Wala is saying that this was a first hand, right in front of me, I witnessed these type of things. So he would say to me that ले लिया करो वरना पूरी तनख्वाह खत्म हो जाएगी. That take from there beneath my pillow. Otherwise, your entire salary will be finished in seeing to the needs of the people and giving them tea to drink. So, humble yourself completely and totally. Make yourself flat and as level as that of the earth. Farsh, the ground. And then you would then reach the arsh. The arsh. Nevertheless, Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom said, listen carefully and go to these ahadith. We start off with these ahadith. In this particular hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that a Muslim is the brother of a fellow Muslim. A Muslim does not oppress his fellow brother, and neither does he allow anyone else to oppress his brother. And the person who stays in the khidmat and in the service of his fellow brother, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then fulfills his needs. And that person who removes the grief and sorrow of his fellow Muslim brother, and in exchange of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove his grief on the day of Qiyamah. And that person who pleases the fellow Muslim, Allah ta'ala will please him on the day of Qiyamah. This hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. Muslim, the riwayat is as follows, that Allah ta'ala is in the service or helping, his madad is with that person so long as he is in the service or helping his fellow brother. This has also come in the hadith that from amongst the makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there are such people that Allah ta'ala had created that He created so that they can fulfill the needs of fellow people. People are restless, people are troubled, and then they come to such people. Now just look at how tremendous that hadith is, that Allah Ta'ala had actually created them for that. And people are restless and pareshan, and they go to these people who Allah Ta'ala specially created to serve fellow people. This has also come in the hadith that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has specifically stipulated certain people for the wealth that He has given to them, so that they can benefit the other fellow beings, so long as they use it in the service and spend it on the fellow people. Allah Ta'ala establishes that wealth with them, and when they stop doing that, then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala then snatches away that wealth from them and transfers it to others. This hadith is in Tabrani. This also comes in the hadith that that person's the person who is in the service or making an effort to see to the needs, a fulfillment of the needs of his fellow brother, then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala gives him the reward of 10 years, rather better than the reward of 10 years sitting in i'tikaf. This is also in Tabrani, Hakim, and it is Sahihul Isnad. This also comes in the hadith that that person who is struggling or going out to see to the needs of the fellow people, his fellow Muslim brother, then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala writes for him in every step he takes 70 nekis and hasana, and removes 70 sins. And Allah continues doing this until he returns. So if he fulfills then the need of his brother, so the one who was in this type of an effort, then he will come out clean from his sins, as so clean as just like the day that he was born. And in the name of all of that, if death comes to him, then he will get Jannah without any type of a reckoning or a hisab. It comes in the hadith also that that person who becomes a means of landing over some good to a person. I'm not understanding this too well. O kama qala alayhi salatu wassalam, and removing the difficulty from that person, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at the time when he is passing the Pul Sirat, Allah ta'ala will assist him when people at that time will be slipping. It comes in another hadith that when a person pleases a fellow Muslim in such a way or in such a sense that he prepares some clothes for him, or he removes his hunger, or he fulfills his need, then this year is a very great and a meritorious deed in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, indallah, in front of Allah, in his court, after the fara'is, the most beloved deed is to please the fellow Muslim. Allahu Akbar. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam had been asked regarding that which by means of people will enter into Jannah in abundance. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied, Taqwallah wa husnul khulq, the fear of Allah and good character. And when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was asked regarding that which by means of which people will enter into Jahannam in abundance, he replied, by means of their mouth, meaning referring to their tongue and their private parts. This has also come in the hadith that the person, the mu'min, who is most perfect in iman is the one who is the best in akhlaq, and the one who treats his family in the best way. This has also come in the hadith that I promise and I give guarantee to a house at the boundaries on the sides of Jannah for that person who abandons the dispute and quarrel even though he may be on the truth. And I guarantee a place, a palace in the center of Jannah for that person who abandons lies, even though he may just be fooling around and being in lightheartedness and in joking. Even at that time he abandons lying. And I stand guarantee for a palace and a position in the higher portion of Jannah for the one who has the best character. This has also come in the hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who does or deals with compassion, kindness and mercy, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves that in all works. This has also come in the hadith that Allah ta'ala loves compassion, Allah ta'ala loves softness and kindness and becomes pleased with that. And Allah Ta'ala, what He gives upon kindness, softness and compassion, He does not give that on harshness. In another hadith it comes that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that, should I not tell you regarding that individual upon whom the fire of Jahannam has become haram? It is that person who is asani karne wala, the one who always makes things easy, and the one who is always soft and gentle. Jahannam has been made haram on that person. So with tahammul, with tolerance, what type of level is reached? That level of the one who fasts the entire day and the one who stands up all night in ibadat. This is also come in the hadith. Regarding that, should I not tell you about the person whom Allah Ta'ala will raise his ranks? And the Sahaba said, most definitely. That the person who is treated with ignorance and then he is tolerant in answer to that. He is oppressed and then he forgives. He is deprived and then he still bestows. People break family ties with him and he goes and he joins those ties, family ties. This has also come in the hadith that the strong person, the wrestler, is not the one who drops his opponent. Rather, it is that one who can control his anger, control himself at the time of anger. This has also come in the hadith that this is also a type of sadaqah, that when a person has a smiling face and together with that he greets people, kushada peshani ke saath logo ko salam kare. He meets people and greets them with a smiling face. Your smiling to your fellow brother when you see him is sadaqah. Amar bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar, commanding that which is good and prohibiting that which is abhorrent and undesirable, is sadaqah. To show someone who is lost the path, that is also sadaqah. To remove the stone or the thorn or the bone or something harmful, thorns from the path, is also sadaqah. So to fill up water in your bucket and then fill it into the bucket of your fellow brother, that is also sadaqah. In another hadith it comes that in Jannah there would be that high stage or those balconies, the balconies which the outside जिसके बाहर का हिस्सा अंदर से और अंदर का हिस्सा बाहर से शफाफ होने की वजह से नजर आएगा. Right? So in Jannah there would be those high places which, because of the purity and the clearness of this year, that the inside will be able to, from the inside you could be able to see the outside, and from the outside you will be able to see the inside. Hazrat Sayyidina Abu Musa Ash'ari radiyallahu ta'ala was asked that, who is this for, O Rasul of Allah? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied that this is for the one who speaks good. He feeds people. And at night, when people are asleep, then he is standing in tahajjud. Nevertheless, these few ahadith from the kitab Targhib wa Tarhib which in essence comes from Kutub Mu'tabara, authentic compilations of ahadith. It has been taken from there. Allah Ta'ala unke muwafiq amal karne ki tawfiq de, ata farmaye. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making amal accordingly. Rather, अपने हाल का इन अहादीथ के मज़ामीन से मुआज़ना करो. Rather, see your spiritual state and measure it with these ahadith. इन अहादीथ की मुवाफ़क़त हो रही हो तो अल्लाह का शुक्र अदा करो. If it is coinciding with these ahadith, then thank Allah. And if it is not coinciding with these ahadith, तो अज्ज़ो ज़ारी के साथ अपने हाल इन अहादीथ के मुवाफ़िक होने की अल्लाह ताला से दुआ की दरख्वास्त करो. If it is not coinciding with these ahadith, then with a lot of humbleness and humility, beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask Him to make your hal to coincide with these ahadith. And if you cannot practically bring this here and practice on these ahadith, then at the least, कम अज़ कम एतराफ़ एक कोताही तो होना चाहिए. At least acknowledge your weakness. ये एतराफ़ भी एक निअमत. पना बखुदा अगर कोई तौफ़ीक़ अमल भी न रखता हो और ख़ुद को कोताही अमल भी न जाने, ऐसा कम नसीब है. ऐसा शख्स कम नसीब है. By Allah, the person who does not have the tawfiq to carry out these a'mal, however, together with that, he doesn't understand and acknowledge his weakness and himself being like that, then such a person most definitely is kam naseeb. He hasn't really achieved or received much. Har kas के बयाफ्त दौलत याफ्त अजीम. Right? What wonderful couplets. That person who achieves the desired dawlat and that great wealth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he has achieved a great wealth and treasure. And the one who did not achieve it but possesses the pain, sorrow and grief of not achieving, that person has also achieved a great wealth. Allahu Akbar. Saying that there, Hazrat Wala is speaking about Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, that for one entire long month, he spoke about i'tiraf-e-dhunub. You know, we're speaking about making maafi and that. There was this one person, when he was troubled and buzurg, and he was angered, etc., he would swallow his anger. He would adopt patience. And after that he would say, I am taking the reward of this and sending it for my mother. Allahu Akbar. Today, we only understand that we make tilawat and we send the thawab for it. But these people had so much of importance attached to the akhlaqiyat that when they would carry out these akhlaq, etc., they would send the reward of it, like here in this one, that to his mother. Nevertheless, i'tiraf al-dhunub, acknowledgement and confessions of sins. This is min a'zami sunani Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, from amongst the greatest of the sunnats of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Many people are not well also. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them shifa. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.